What's going on, guys? Another weekly rotation video that's in the books, and this week it was not one single fragrance that isn't marked from very affordable and cheap all the way down to the super cheap price point. Only one fragrance isn't mega fresh. It's the first day of the week on Sunday. It's just proof that you can really get a lot of enjoyment out of cheaper fragrances. If they smell good to you, they smell good to you. And we got several cheap, fresh fragrances in this video that I personally really enjoy. Some of these you may have in your collection as well. But it's week number 130. We'll talk about the rotation. Stay tuned. Starting off on Sunday, this is the newest release from Happyland Studio, and this is the only one that I wouldn't call super fresh out of what was in this weekly rotation video. Still super affordable though, $55 for a 50 ml before the TLTG 20 discount code that's always down in the link tree if you're interested. We're talking about Mad Anthony from Happyland Studio, EJ's newest release. So this one, dry green citrus smell at the top. There's this dry grass note with, I believe, some bergamot and some lemon. I know there's lemon for sure. And it's a little bit of citrus freshness, but that dry grass note definitely does have a dry green appeal. It definitely is accurately named. There's a little bit of spices here. I believe there's some cardamom. I'm trying to remember exactly what else is in there. I believe there's a little bit of benzoin. Gives a little bit of an amber feel to it. And there's some orris root that once it starts to settle in, there's this ambergris orris root combination that kind of takes over the fragrance as it starts to settle. It admittedly does get a bit more fresh. Like you get a little bit of freshness up top, and then it does get a little bit fresher in the dry down with a little light powder. The orris here is a little bit more on the earthy side, but it definitely has this beautiful freshness, this earthy green tone to it. It's a little dry, a little woody, a little amber. You know, a little bit of that orris root powdery nature to it. Like I said, it's more of an earthy type of orris than it is that bright, soapy, floral, fresh type of iris smell. Solid fragrance, very creative, I have to say. Very creative. It doesn't remind me of anything specific, and definitely worth getting a sample. I don't like it as much as the last two releases, though. Wonderland, which a bunch of people are saying is basically a dead ringer for Beach Hut Man from Amouage, which I haven't tried Beach Hut Man, so I don't know, but it's a gorgeous mint myrrh oak moss bomb. It's a beautiful, beautiful minty fragrance. And then Garlic Mist, which is another fresh green, kind of more formal, warm weather type of green fragrance. So this is a solid release, don't get me wrong. Just I don't think it's as good as the last two releases, but definitely sample worthy if you're looking for something a little bit different. Was Mad Anthony during the day. And then when I got the shower, one of my favorite greener type of fragrances, I guess you could say, Tommy by Tommy Hilfiger. Still a fresh fragrance at its core. Very, very cheap. You know, nothing groundbreaking. It's been around since the early to mid 90s. I love this stuff, though. I have multiple bottles of it. I now have Montal Fougere's Marine, which is a niche version of it for sure. I haven't spent a ton of time with it yet, but I will be. Just really good stuff, guys. You see this out at the rack stores for $20, $30 for a big bottle. It's worth rolling the dice. Not going to win any performance awards, but it's got a little bit of a classy appeal without being too classy. It's still kind of it rides the line of, I guess, slightly dressy, semi-formal type of stuff and casual. It can do a lot of things, signature scent worthy. Like I said, super cheap and fresh. It's got a little bit of this bitter, fresh, spicy green quality with a little bit of tart grapefruit at the top. It's actually very nice. It maintains a lot of freshness and a lot of green appeal. Really like this stuff. Out the shower, Tommy by Tommy Hilfiger. Moving into Monday, this is one of my favorite pickups of the year. Next time I come across another bottle at the rack store, I'm going to buy another bottle because I'm going to put a nice dent in this bottle this year. For the gym, daily wear, and then out the shower that night on Monday, I went with Missoni Wave. I just recently did a full review on this one. Make sure to check out the video to get, you know, my full thoughts on how it breaks down on my skin, the type of performance I get, but guys, this is basically Chanel Allure Homme Sport meets Versace Porom. It's gorgeous. Pressure sensitive atomizer. magnetic cap. You can find this in the $30 to $50 range. All over the place online. Discounters, $31.99. I paid at a TJ Maxx for this. It's a solid performer without being a beast, just to give you the gist of it. And it's gorgeous. It's creamy, aquatic, citrus. It's got a little bit of woody nature to it. It's got some multiple facets to it. Very aromatic. One of my favorite cheap pickups at a rack store in a long time. And look, I've found a lot of great stuff at the rack stores. This is a gem. I'm loving this stuff. You're probably gonna see this on a regular basis in the weekly rotation. Not necessarily every week, but this and Rasasi Hawass are probably my two favorite cheap pickups of the year so far. But all day long, I was enjoying Missoni Wave. Moving into Tuesday, I just did a full review on this one as well. This is a rebuy. I used to have a 30 ml. A few years back, we were at Walmart. I always go pop in and look at the fragrances, and I saw they had a bonus pack of Kenneth Cold Blue. Get this 50 ml and a 30 ml. $20. And I said, why the hell not? It's basically their version of Versace Mano Fresh. Find it to be a little bit more aquatic. It does have a C note in it. It does give it more of that saltwater marine type of smell, more so than Versace Mano Fresh. You get citrus pretty much the whole way through. It's not some beast in performance. It's more on the synthetic side for sure. But on a budget, this is a solid warm weather fragrance. It really is. I really enjoy this one. Like I said, for the full details, definitely check out my full review on it. But it's likable. If you don't like synthetic, you probably won't like it. But if you're on a budget, like I said, this is a great fragrance for a teenager, early 20s guy, somebody that doesn't have a lot of money to spend and just wants something easygoing and inviting, that if those around you smell you, they're just going to think you smell fresh and clean. This definitely can accomplish all of those things. Another one of those fragrances that, in my opinion, proves you don't have to spend a ton of money to smell really good. And this is definitely one that'll make you smell really, really good. During the day, Kenneth Cold Blue. We got the shower. This is kind of a blast from the past. The Tuesday marked the 19th anniversary of when my father passed, and this is reminiscent of the last fragrance that he purchased for me. This is called Aspen Discovery, a forgotten flanker of Aspen from Coty, a very iconic fragrance, the green bottle. This is basically a take on the traditional barbershop style. The note breakdown, super simple. It's lavender, citruses, musk, and woody notes. Nothing remarkably special about this fragrance other than the nostalgic tie from me. Does it smell good? Sure. If you like, barbershop fragrances, aftershave smell, that classic masculine aftershave smell, you'll like this. Nothing super special in performance. It's like a 3 to 4 hour fragrance for being a cologne spray. It's not even an eau de toilette, but it's solid. You can get these. I've seen them on the internet for around $13 to $15 for these 3/4 ounce bottles. I grabbed 3 of them from FragranceNet a few years back for $10, $9 a piece, I think is what it was. And it's just a very special fragrance to me for nostalgic purposes with my dad. So usually I pull this one out on May 24th every year. Not something I reach for, but when I'm feeling nostalgic or have him on the mind, I'll spray this bad boy. So out the shower, got to put my hand back here so it'll focus. It's Aspen Discovery. Moving into Wednesday, another underrated cheap aquatic gem. Not so much aquatic, but definitely mega fresh, soapy, aromatic, shower gel type of smell, but it does start to settle into its own. I did a full review on this one this week as well. You can get these for around $26 to $35 for a 4.2 ounce bottle of Tommy Bahama Maritime Journey. I do have Maritime Deep Blue as well. I don't have the original Maritime. I will get that one eventually. Get it to focus for you guys. There we go. Has that cleat at the top to rope off, tie your boat off at the dock. That's what it's supposed to be reminiscent of. This is a lovely fragrance. Has a nice fruity freshness. Super likable and inviting. Heavy dose of aromatics at the top. Like I said, has a watery feel to it without being too aquatic. But this is nice. This is really nice, and you get a lot of it cheap. One of the better fragrances from Tommy Bahama. Well, don't get me wrong, I do believe St. Bart's is the end-all, be-all, ultimate fragrance to get from Tommy Bahama. The Maritime line as a whole is very underrated, and has a lot to offer if you like fresh fragrances and you don't want to spend a lot of money. Yeah, retail, they're not really worth retail, in my opinion, but they pop up at the rack stores. They're cheap at discounters online, and they often get overlooked. Not too many people really check these out. Kind of a rack store darling. Burlington's, in my experience, usually are the rack store that'll carry these. Love smelling this stuff. And it was just such a pleasure. I hadn't wore it in quite some time, so I wore it to the gym that morning. I wore it during the day as my scent of the day, and I decided to continue rolling with it out the shower that night. So all standard 3 phases of my day, I ran with this bad boy because I was loving how I was smelling with Tommy Bahama Maritime Journey. Moving into Thursday, this is one from my recent Fragrance Net haul. Another one, I wore it all 3 phases of my day. I had been doing several test sprays. Another one I did a full review of. This one surprised me. It got better and better as I sprayed it more and more. We're talking about the relatively new Azzaro Porom Cologne Intense. I always have trouble getting this one to focus, but there you go. Beautiful, gorgeous gradient design to this bottle. It's a simplistic note breakdown of lime, lavender, and mastic. But there's a little bit more going on here. It's a little bit deeper than what the note breakdown will lead you to believe. And it does change drastically from the top to the dry down. Once that lime fades and the lavender starts to settle in, it has a little bit of a lightly powdery, earthy tone to it, a little bit of a green feel, if you will, a light kind of bitter fruitiness in the background. It's very interesting. This is... I mean, the color scheme and the note breakdown would lead you to believe, oh, it's just a random summer freshie. I actually believe it's more than that. It's much more than that. I think this is a great everyday grab that surprisingly performed pretty well. The anticipation I had based on the note breakdown was maybe 3, 4, 5 hours if I'm lucky. I got more in the 6 to 7 hour range every time I've sprayed it. It's been a pleasant surprise for me. I picked this one up for around $50. I know you can find it in that price range from most places that are carrying it online. And this is going to be one that's going to fly under the radar for a lot of people. Not that many people, from what I can tell, have really given this one a chance yet. I believe it came out last year in 2021 in the latter sector, the latter portion of the year. And I'm really digging this one. It's fresh, it's super easygoing and inviting. It'll pull you in early on. And then there's so much more going on. It's got a lot of character. As it starts to settle in and dry and change, it changes greatly from that beautiful, inviting freshness you get at the top to, like I said, that bitter, fruity, slightly earthy, woody feel, little touch of powder. It's a lot of different things I find going on in the, early to late dry down of this fragrance. Definitely flying under the radar and underrated. But all day long, I was enjoying this one. It was great for the gym. It was a great daily wear. Then I decided to rock it again out the shower. Is the, like I said, relatively new Azzaro Porom Cologne Intense. Moving into Friday, this is kind of a ghost of cheap clones past. Years ago, this was hyped up as a great Silver Mountain water clone. And honestly, I don't think it smells a ton like Silver Mountain water. It definitely resembles it, but not spot on. I've heard people say it kind of reminds them of CK1. I could see where they're coming from with that. But we're talking about Al-Rehab Silver. That's right. $10 bottle right here, 35 ml. At first, when I first got it, I didn't understand it. This was before I was really a big fan of floral fragrances, because this is quite floral, I find. It's watery, it's metallic, it's fresh, it's a bright white floral type of smell. It's just flower notes, floral notes or whatever. It does settle into a little bit more of a woody feel in the background. A lot of clean musk here. It's very linear, doesn't change a lot, except for that watery citrus smell at the top does settle down. It's a solid performer. Another one, like most of the stuff in this video, I actually did individual videos on this particular week at the recording of this video. And like I said, it's kind of ghosts of clones past, cheap clones, because you can still find this one. There was a time when I bought this, it was like $7 or $8. You can still get them for $10. 2 packs I've seen for $17.99, $17.98 on eBay, Amazon, places like that. You can still get this for around $10, and it's still solid. Like I said, it's kind of a cross between Creed Silver Mountain Water and CK1. I can relate to people saying they smell CK1 in this. It does smell kind of like a cross between the two, and it's a solid fragrance. It really is. It's a safe play as long as you like metallic floral muskiness, because it's very metallic. More metallic than it is inky, because that kind of inky feel that you get from the black currant from Silver Mountain Water. Very light resemblance here, more metallic than anything, but it's solid stuff. During the day, Silver from Al-Rehab. Not one I've reached for in a long time. And then I just picked this little 2-pack up of David Beckham fragrances at Burlington yesterday at the recording of this, and I was so impressed by this, I wore it out the shower. David Beckham Instinct. This stuff really impressed me. Here we go. Got to do this again so it'll focus. Come on, focus for me one time. It doesn't want to. There we go. Now it has no choice. But the most surprising thing about this is the very good magnetic cap. And it's got a little bit of strength to it, too. So $12.99 plus tax. I got a 1-ounce bottle of Instinct, a 1-ounce bottle of Homme. Homme's kind of like a fresher version of Terre d'Hermès. This, I was surprised how fresh and powdery the deeper portion of the dry down was. I got every bit of 4 to 5 hours on my skin with this one. I was impressed because, I mean, it's a cheap, super cheap fragrance. And it doesn't smell cheap, super cheap to me. It doesn't smell expensive by any means, but this is a solid, like, collection builder, I guess would be the way to put it. You're starting off early in your journey. You're trying to see what type of scent profiles and maybe certain notes that kind of tickle your fancy, and you don't want to spend a ton of money, but you want to try a variety of things. Stuff like this is what you can go for, because it does have a nice appeal to where I can see you potentially getting a compliment with this one. It'd be a nice evening scent. It's fresh. It's spicy. It's a little warm as it settles. It's lightly powdery. There's a little bit of a seductive quality to it. This is actually a nice evening wear scent. I think this is solid. This alone was well worth the $13 I paid for the 2-pack and then some. I'm going to be spending some more time with this, but I sprayed myself down with this. I think I sprayed like 10 sprays just sitting around here, winding down before bed out the shower. That's how much I was digging the smell of this stuff. So if you see this one out, it's cheap. It's worth rolling the dice on a blind buy, in my opinion. Out the shower, David Beckham Instinct. Finally, on Saturday, right now as we're recording, I'm wearing this fragrance. I did refresh. I took a day off from the gym today, so no gym scent. This is one of the most underrated fresh blue fragrances money can buy. We're talking about Vince Camuto Ohm. This stuff is so freaking good, in my opinion. This is the best of the house. I have 4 fragrances from them. I have a small bottle of the black bottle, Vince Camuto Man, I believe is which one it is. I have Terra, I have Eterno, and all solid minus the black bottle. I don't care for that one. They're all solid, but this is the best, hands down. Beautiful gin and tonic smell. It's got gin and juniper berries in here, so it's kind of a double whammy of the gin smell. The freshness, the citrus that you get up top kind of adds that watery feel for the gin and tonic smell I'm talking about. It's a little on the fresh, spicy side. It's nice and woody. This is super underrated. I'm telling you, so good. I still have it on my chest, too. Oh, yeah, there's that dry down. This stuff is so good. I think I have it on my hand. Yeah, I have it right here on my hand. I have a bunch of sprays on my neck, my shoulders, and my shirt, my chest. I love this stuff. This is great. You can find 50 mLs like this at the rack stores for $20. Online, you can get 100 ml for $30. So worth it. Solid performer. Look, if you're looking for Beast and Mega Fresh, that usually doesn't go hand in hand. It does happen. There are fragrances out there, but most of the time, cheap, super fresh fragrances like this aren't going to perform crazy good. This is like 4 to 6 hours. Kind of falls in that 5-hour range for me, which is solid performance, especially for this scent profile. But it just smells so freaking good. One of the best fragrances in my collection that I haven't been wearing much, and I pulled it out recently. Spoke of it in a video and decided to leave it on my rotation table so I could wear it, and I was so happy to wear it today. I sprayed it, waited a few hours, sprayed myself down again. Really good stuff. Like I said, this is one of the best fragrances in this video as far as scent profile alone. During the day, Vince Camuto Ohm. And then in a little bit when I get out the shower, one I haven't spent much time with recently. And just randomly when my fragrances will fade, I've been having this sit on my rotation table. I've been spraying this randomly throughout the week. All week long, and I'm going to wear it out the shower tonight Kind of when my out the shower scents have faded, I kind of spray myself with this. I've sprayed myself a few days for the gym, just randomly spraying myself throughout the week with Nautica Life Energy. This kind of has a little bit of a Bleu de Chanel meets a lightly powdery lavender type of smell. It's solid. I picked this up for like $10 at a Marshall's. These Nautica fragrances are always super cheap, and this is one you don't always see. There was a time when I would see Nautica Life on a regular basis, kind of that wood grain panel looking box. This, I believe the box was white like the cap. This is solid stuff. Crooked stem in there. You know, they tried. Kind of a Homme type of stem. But the fragrance in itself is lovely. Atomizer matches the stem. I'm going to spray the hell out of this when I get out the shower. I'll probably give myself 8 or 10 sprays. This is like great for $10. It's gone in 2 to 3 hours. It's a weak fragrance, don't get me wrong, but it's perfect for just a refresher out the shower. It's a great gym bag fragrance. I have a lot of fragrances, mostly Nautica stuff, that falls into the same category as this, where they just smell great. You're going to spend next to nothing, and you're just going to smell nice and clean and fresh. It's never a bad time for this one. It doesn't smell too synthetic. It's aquatic. It's fresh. It's citrus. It's a little powdery. There's a light sweetness in the backdrop. It's not super simplistic, but it's not complicated and complex either. But yeah, I've been randomly spraying it throughout the week, and out the shower tonight, after I finish recording this video, I'll be going with Nautica Life Energy. Well, everything in this video, minus the Happyland fragrance, is a cheap freshie. And the Happyland fragrance has some freshness, and it's pretty cheap too, honestly. So, you know, normally I have a nice combination of some more fine fragrances, higher-end luxury stuff, mixed with some mid-level designers and some cheapies. Usually it's kind of a mixed bag throughout the week, whereas for some reason this week, I was just in the mood for cheap and fresh, and I got a ton of cheap and fresh blue-style, light blue fragrances that are just super fresh, easy to like, and easy to wear. And in this video, I pulled a few of them out. There's some new additions to the collection, some rebuys, and stuff I haven't worn in a long time that I reached for. So it was a fun week for me, to say the least. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. So I do appreciate all the feedback, and I love hearing from you guys. What's some of your favorite cheap, fresh fragrances that you like to throw in and out your rotation, or kind of a go-to out the shower? Or better yet, what was your rotation like this week? You guys know I love to read those comments in these weekly rotation videos. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on any of the fragrances I wore this week and you give them a spray now, pretty confident you'll thank me later, because you're going to smell great. You're not going to spend a lot of money. Have a good one, guys.